Watch the entire pre, regular and postseason NFL matches in real time and in high definition. You must install the HD streaming software from NFLTV.ms and foxsports.org. You can follow the link below, or you can directly type it in your browser. NFLTV.ms and foxsports.org. This works on all devices and operating systems. Online TV streaming service by True Online TV and MS and foxsports.org, the internet leaders in direct satellite TV technology. You are seconds away from watching all the NFL you want and so much more online. You can watch it on your PC, laptop, tablet, or mobile device. A single registration is all it takes to enjoy streaming this event on multiple devices. Let me repeat the website where you must register to avail the service. NFLTV.ms and foxsports.org. You can click the link in the description area to visit this website.
Knew this was going to come down to the finish. Certainly two tough teams that were going to go battle for it. We totally expected that. We loved how our team battled back after a difficult first half. So a lot of resiliency there. Didn't create any turnovers on defense and ended up finishing -2, and we know how tough that can be. It was a great fight. Both teams were totally battling for it. Went all the way down to the end like we thought. We'll learn a lot from it. We know having penalties and turnovers makes it very difficult for us. So we'll go right back to that process. We'll reset back again here Wednesday and get right back to it, getting ready for another tough opponent. But this one we knew it would be tough, come down to the end exactly like it did. Just didn't capitalize on some of our opportunities today. So we'll look at that and we'll learn from it. That'll open up to your questions.
Coach, on the your last pass, was your vantage point that was a pass interference on Julio?
You know, as you go through the last play, usually one game doesn't always define it. So we'll look at it, Led, and see where it goes. We certainly have other opportunities in the game to go capitalize and finish, but we won't let it come down to one time for us, or at least comment on that.
The interception, we'll get one. I'll try to get a pool report from the refs on that. But the interception there, what was your vantage point? You're trying to run the clock out there and get the ball up in the air.
Yeah, we wanted to stay aggressive. You know, it was one, you know, at that point, there was still plenty of time left. It wasn't just a time where we're just going to run it and punt away and have Russ and that crew going again. So we're going to win the game. And having an attitude for that. We've got excellent guys that know how to attack, and it was just, you know, it ended up being a tip ball. And it was unfortunate. Wasn't a bad decision or a bad play, and we'll give them the credit for it.
Dan, do you feel like you won the game?
No. I do feel that the guys battled really hard, Mark, and that part coming in here, we knew it was going to be very tough. But after the first half, where it was a struggle for us, coming back out, getting the ball and going down, I think that was the thing that kind of reset us, knowing we're right back into it. But all the way through, there was big plays. Blocking, you know, the extra point was certainly a big one. Just for us not getting any turnovers and then finishing -2 against a good team is going to be tough. So they battled for it.
Your halftime adjustments, what worked for you there in the third quarter after, you know, just held to 86 yards, 0 for 6 on third downs in the first half? Yeah, the third down part was, we certainly had some penalties that created some long ones as well. So having those third and where, you know, a sack on second down or a foul on second down to put us way back, that makes the third downs especially challenging. Tough opponent. The rush was certainly coming good, and I thought, you know, just in terms of the communication stepping up, certainly the line played better in the second half. Anyone else? Dan, you outgained them 252-29 in the first quarter. You've been there for a while. You worked there for a while. I mean, have you ever seen anybody do that to them like that in this field?
The combination they have with the veteran savvy they have with Pete, Chris Richard, Rocky, the guys, we'll go back and look to see, you know, on some plays that we had some success, but yeah, I can't comment on that as far as, you know, it goes for a quarter.
Vaughn, you got anything? How'd you see the last play? How did you see it?
Yeah, we'll go back and look at it, Vaughn. You know, from the sideline vantage point, you know, we thought, you know, it was a 50-50 ball that we certainly had an op to go get. Never comes down to one play. We thought we had some opportunities in this game to capitalize on, so I'm not going to comment, you know, regarding a foul or not on the last play.
I know you had some turnovers, but Matt did show some resolve today.
We showed a lot.
Hit in
And I think it was one of his tougher games. Just standing up, staying right in, going back and attack it. He's got a real focus about him. You felt that from him today. Just coming off the field after the scores. We knew we wanted to attack in all 3 phases of this game, and came up short today.
Anyone else? 6 games in, you're 4-2, maybe with an asterisk. Do you like where you are?
I like where our team identity is now becoming. So badly did I want the identity to happen right away. And it's growing stronger, that toughness, that resolve to where we can attack on all 3 phases. That identity is one that I'm pleased we're starting to become. The way we want to finish, the different people that get involved. We've had some games where different groups came through 2 weeks ago. Certainly the defensive line had a big day. 2 weeks before that, the quarterback and receivers had one. We've had games where the special teams have been involved. So having that team identity, knowing that all phases we want to attack, that part I feel is coming together. And so desperately wanted that to happen last year. I think that's where you're going with some of this, and it didn't in terms of all the way. So I wanted that to happen overnight, and it didn't. But I feel like this group is growing. It's quite a bit different from last year's group, and we'll be ready to get back rocking here again in a few days.
You might have answered this, but do you think, I know maybe in the big picture it wasn't a big deal, but did you think that Dwight and Dion had a chance to get Russell down on that one play?
I'll have to go back and look at it. I can't recall on the one. There was a number. He's hard to capture, and you know, in the pocket, out of the pocket, there's not really a reason or a rhyme oftentimes to where he goes, but he certainly hurt us with his legs, creating time for them to get open. We knew this was going to be a hard fight, Vaughn, all the way down. It came down right to that, and didn't close like we wanted to today.
Let's go, fellas. It's our time today. It's our time to step up and take control of this game for all 4 quarters. Why we can't do it? Why we can't be the ones today? Why we can't? Ask yourself that question. Why we can't be the ones today? Why we can't do it? Why I can't do it? You know what I'm saying? Ask yourself, why not you?
You got 60 minutes, right? Let everything else go. Don't worry about what's coming next week. Don't worry about anything else. The next 4 quarters, let's take care of our business, man. Trust the man next to you. Brotherhood's real, man. Brotherhood on 3. 1, 2, 3. Brotherhood.
Seattle bringing the pressure. Julio's open at the 5 and the touchdown. Downfield, Matt Ryan dials Julio Jones 36 yards and a touchdown. Matt looks, rips it, caught. Sanu, touchdown. Atlanta on the left side.
Hi guys, this is Vernon Croy for Tuesday, January 10th. I'll get to your free pick winner coming right up in just a moment. First of all, make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. You'll get an instant notification every time I post a free pick. I cashed my 60-unit college football play last night with Clemson plus 6.5, winning outright over Alabama. I'm now 100% perfect 9-0 in football. That's right, 100% perfect 9-0 in football. The last 3 weeks of my premium football plays, making my $100 clients $5,200. I have a rock-solid NFL card coming up this weekend. I'm 100% perfect 6-0 in the NFL the last 3 weeks overall. I look to absolutely crush the books once again this weekend. Make sure you get my football package right now exclusively at DocSports.com. I've cashed 70% of my NFL plays, going 21-9 the last 16 weeks in the NFL, with my plays rated 5 units or higher, making my $100 client $6,090. Make sure you get my NFL playoff package right now exclusively at DocSports.com. Your free pick winner for Saturday, January 14th, we're taking the Atlanta Falcons against spread minus 4.5 over the Seattle Seahawks. Atlanta is the superior team at home here Saturday. They have the #1 offense in all of the NFL, averaging 33.8 points per game this season. And they put up 38 points at home against a very solid Cardinals defense, so I don't look for them to have much trouble against the Seahawks defense Saturday. Atlanta is also 4-0 against the spread in their last 4 games after putting up more than 350 total yards in their previous game. So once again, your free pick winner for Saturday, January 14th, we're taking the Atlanta Falcons against spread minus 4.5 over the Seattle Seahawks. Make sure you get on my football package right now exclusively at DocSports.com. I'm 100% perfect 9-0 the last 3 weeks with my premium football plays, making my $100 clients $5,200. I'm also 100% perfect 6-0 with my NFL plays the last 3 weeks overall. I've also cashed 70% of my NFL plays the last 16 weeks overall, making my $100 clients $6,090, going 21-9. Make sure you get my football package right now exclusively at DocSports.com. I apologize for my voice. I'm still battling a bit of cold. We did press on here today in winning. Vernon Croy.
I've seen a more production from Hageman, which I know in that position you don't always see it, but you think the lights come on for him? Has he been better here in the last, let's say, 6-7 weeks?
Well, I'll tell you what, matter of fact, it's funny that you asked that question. Last night, I'm getting ready for the night before the meeting, the night before the game, and I was going through some game tape when I was trying to put together, and what really jumped out at me is how well he's doing. He's doing a much better job of really coming off the ball, playing a lot more aggressively than he did a year ago. And I think when you talk to him, he'll probably tell you, probably put him back in a position where he doesn't have as much thinking to do, and he's just coming off the ball hard. And I've been really pleased with his performance. He's been very disruptive. He's had a couple sacks, which was really nice to see. And more importantly, he's a big man that's very, very powerful. And yes, he has improved from a year ago.
When they run their inside zone, he's probably going to see a lot of double teams. Is it key for him to kind of hold that as long as he can?
Well, that's everybody. That's everybody. They're a very good running football team. We all know that. And across the board, it's just not the guys up front. It's those guys, and plus it's the linebackers and the safeties in the back end. And we all have to do a really good job. I think we have a very good understanding of their run game. We know what they do. They know what we do. So it's going to be a great matchup.
Anyone else?
Coach talked about, take a little bit mostly from the players from that Week 6 game, but are there things scheme-wise that are the same, or are they a much different team?
Well, when you look at them from the first game we played them, the thing that's a little bit different, the quarterback is healthy. Right now, I think when we played him the first time, he was playing with injuries, which we really respect that. He's a real competitor. He's a tough kid. A lot of guys wouldn't have played with his injury. So I was very impressed with that. And right now he looks like much healthier. Last week he didn't wear his knee brace, and that has nothing to do with it, where he's not only a threat as a quarterback throwing the ball, he can beat you with scrambles, and he also can beat you in the zone read business. So he's at full throttle right now. Also, the running back was injured the last time we played him, and he's running really hard. I was very impressed with the way that he ran the ball and the way their offensive line blocked last week. So we feel we're going to see the same thing. They're not going to change. We're not going to change. And it's going to, like I said, I think it's going to be a great matchup, and we're looking forward to it.
They talked about being more aggressive on the offensive line. Instead of moving left, right, shielding people, they just hit the first person in front of them.
Well, anytime you're in the, Tom Cable's the offensive line coach, is one of the tops in the league, and he learned his craft from a man that I worked with, Alex Gibbs, over at Denver, and he's got him playing very, very hard, aggressive, and like I said, when you get into this time, this late in the season, they've been doing the same thing over and over and over. And as a player, you get better and better at it. And it's just like they're better at their craft, but I also believe that we're better at our craft. So, like I said, it's going to be a great battle, and they are playing aggressively, and their runners are running hard. They got a nice little change up with 34s improved from the last time we played them, and also they've got 36 runs the ball hard, and then they got some change-up guys. CJ, I believe 22, can, really a really great receiver out of the backfield. So they've got quite a few weapons. They also have a great receiving core that I think plays extremely hard for the quarterback. They make the acrobatic catch. You saw Richardson, I believe, number 10, make a great catch. You've got Baldwin, 89, who's really shifty in the slot. They do a great job with their, we call them pick routes, where they try to, pick you and get guys open, and they know what they're doing. And so it's, like I said, it's going to be an exciting game for us on Saturday.
You talk about your linebacker. They do a lot of that double teaming at their O-line. You talk about what your linebackers have to do against that.
Well, I can't give you exactly why we teach everything, but the thing is, to me, it's like based off of what we have called things, sometimes they can play things a little bit differently. That's as far as I'll go with that question. I can't answer that one. I don't want everybody to hear what we teach, okay?
Coach, how important is it when you're playing in Seattle, their crowd gets behind them, makes it difficult for the visitors? How important is it for Falcons fans to get behind us to make it difficult for them.
Well, I think, first of all, I think it's exciting. You could play them out here in the street. It's going to be an exciting game for the players, but crowds do make a difference. We've been in that stadium quite a bit in my years of coaching the league, and it's a very hard place to play. Their stadium is packed. They got the 12th man. They take pride in it, and their football team's good. If you look at how many times they've won and lost in that stadium, there's a lot more wins than there were losses, and I believe that crowd does have a advantage to when you go in there and play. Makes it hard for the offenses to be able to hear. In our stadium, hopefully it's the same way, that they have to go on silent count, read their, the guard looking back at the quarterback, and that's always an advantage to the home field. And hopefully our crowd will be live, and which will be an advantage to us on Saturday.
If the noise level's equal, whether you're on offense or defense, is it easier for a defense to communicate?
No, I think any time it's communication on offense or communication on defense goes the same way, because there's a lot of things that are huddled in the huddle, they're called, and then there's pre-snap alerts, and there's adjustments that go on. So that's on both sides of the ball. The only advantage that you do have, like when we play at home, our crowd will be yelling, and so our guys have to do a really good job on defense. But when our offense is up, hopefully they're quiet and they're cheering after they complete the ball down the field or have a nice big run. So it goes both ways based off if you're home or away. But communication is huge in this game.
All right, guys, in this video, we're going to break down the Atlanta and Seattle Seahawks game. And before I get started, if you would like a copy of the board that I'm using to do this video, just come over here to oneweekfantasy.com and click on membership, become a member, and you should get information about how to get a copy. Also, if you're invited to join us in our private league on DraftKings, just click on this banner link, and you can come over here and join us and play us in a free game for everybody in the community. Obviously, if you're on YouTube, just look in the description below, and there should be links to everything. Okay, so we have Atlanta traveling over to Seattle, and this is an East Coast team traveling to a West Coast team. Let's see what the time is on this game, and we have. It's a late game, so there shouldn't be anything, bad about that. Except, remember, East Coast, West Coast, there's a lot of travel involved, and a lot of time there's a lot of jet lag behind that, and that can affect the game. But other than that, I don't really see anything there. Vegas has this as a total of 46. Not a lot of scoring. They have Seattle winning by 6.5 on Tuesday. So I don't know if that's changed by now, but basically that's a pretty strong indication that Vegas feels that Seattle's going to win pretty comfortably. The pace is 16 for Atlanta, 28 for Seattle, which just says this is probably going to be a slower paced game. So there's not going to be any extra opportunity for the two teams, which kind of a lot of times that kind of destroys any possibility of a shootout simply because of the pace. But, there's still possibilities of a blowout. So let's go ahead and look at it. They got Atlanta with 2 or 3 touchdowns, Seattle with 3 or 4 touchdowns. And then when we just look at the defenses overall, Pro Football Focus has Atlanta's defense ranked at 28th and Seattle's ranked 3rd. So right off the bat, you see there's a big mismatch here in the defenses. And in the offseason, Atlanta's off defense wasn't built very well at all. It's 28-26, front 7, secondary. Seattle is pretty solid across the board, just kind of like Denver, just like Arizona. They're just solid across the board. So this is just going to be a tough outing for Atlanta all around. Even the tight ends play for Atlanta has not been very good. So everybody's in play for Seattle, it looks like. By DVOA standards, Atlanta's been 24th against the run and the pass. Seattle 4th and 1st against the run and the pass. So it's not a lot to break down here. Simply because it's just going to be tough. So, as far as pass rush, Matt Ryan, he may be under some pressure here. His offensive line is ranked 19th in pass protection. And Seattle has a ranked 8th, number 8th pass rush in the league. So they can put some pressure on him. So he could be under some pressure. That could play a little bit into this as well. So, Yeah, I mean, there's really not much here. Like Russell Wilson, who they say looks pretty good right now. He looks like he's getting back to normal. Obviously, he can't be at 100%. You don't get a high ankle sprain, and you're just back to 100% in a couple of weeks. It usually takes a while, but they say he looks really good. So, I mean, that's pretty fine there. He shouldn't be under too much pressure anyway. Offensive line, Atlanta has a really good run game. Tevin Coleman has looked better than Devontae Freeman, which, if you remember from last year, he was the starting running back until he got hurt. Devontae Freeman came in and really took advantage of the opportunity. But they were saying from the very beginning that Tevin Coleman, who was in his second year, and Devontae was in his rookie year last year, Tevin Coleman was the more talented back, and it's becoming more evident because Tevin Coleman has been really producing, even though they've been splitting carries and stuff. So, that makes that backfield really hard to pick, because if they're going to split it, then you're gambling again. That sometimes that can work to your benefit in a tournament, but it can kill you in the tournament as well. So, Atlanta, they can run the ball and throw the ball, obviously with Julio and Sanu, and then you got the 2 running backs. So they're pretty balanced. Seattle's pretty balanced as well. Christian Michael, who's still hanging on to that starter job, is running really well. Then you got Jimmy Graham, who's been playing really well. And then you got Doug Baldwin, Tyler Lockett, JERMAINE KEARSE, I believe his name is, and I think a Richardson or something. Only Doug Baldwin is really playing well of those receivers, which is normal. It's nothing new. But with Jimmy Graham playing well, that gives Russell Wilson 2 great targets to throw the ball to. And, yeah, I mean, basically, I can see I'm not too big on Russell Wilson, because really what makes Russell Wilson an elite fantasy option is when he can really run and get out there on the edge and get a lot of yards running the ball. But he can't sit back there and throw the ball. So, I mean, he can fling the ball. It's just that I just don't want to pay up for his price when I feel like he's limited in what he can do. But Jimmy Graham, Doug Baldwin, Christian Michael, I am all for those guys, because, yeah, I mean, it's just, there's really nothing to stop Seattle from doing what they want to do. And I really like Christian Michael, because if they are winning this game pretty well, because I think this could turn into a blowout. I think it's going to be close, but there's a possibility of a blowout if Seattle's defense is really dominating Atlanta. But Atlanta's offense is generally good enough to stay in the game, so I don't really think that's going to happen. But it is a possibility, and that's the type of thing where you want with your running back, is that if it's a blowout, then he's going to get a lot more reps going down in the fourth quarter. Let's look at the wide receiver chart just to see if there's anything there that we need to pay attention to. Julio Jones. No, there's really not, because, I mean, like you said, all the guys from Seattle are playing great. They're all in the 80s here. So, I mean, it's just, there's really nothing there as far as individual matchups for Atlanta. So it's just one of those deals where Julio is Julio. He can always have a good game, even against a horrible situation. But do you really want to, especially in a cash game, I wouldn't touch Julio. But in a tournament, you can, but I wouldn't have very sparingly put him in my lineups as a contrarian play. If you go down to Seattle, not much different. Doug Baldwin's the real option here. He's the one that's playing well. Jermaine and Tyler are not playing very well at all. And Doug plays in the slot, so he's going to be playing against Brian Poole most of the time. And Brian Poole has been the one that's been playing well for Atlanta. So, I mean, I still love the situation, and that's why I like Doug Baldwin, because he gets the targets from Russell Wilson. But, yeah, I would only use him probably in tournaments. Probably wouldn't use him in cash games right now, because with the emergence of Jimmy Graham, who's taking a lot of targets away from him now, I really like Jimmy Graham in this game. I really, really like him. And Christian Michaels. Those are the two that I really like as far as cash and tournament. And to Doug Baldwin, maybe as a tournament flyer or whatever. And that's about it. There's not a whole lot in this game. There's not a whole lot to break down, simply because Atlanta's just going to have a tough go, And it's just like any team that plays the Denver Broncos or Arizona, there's not a whole lot of, opportunity there. Now, it doesn't mean Atlanta players won't have good games, because that's real life. Things happen. But when you're trying to project and predict, this is not a spot that you can predict what's going to happen. It's just going to be luck if you get any production out of that offense. So I think that's going to be it. I mean, I don't really see anything else to look at here. So I'm just going to end the video, and I'll see you in the next one.